Hi there, Ron here of Variable Play, and welcome back to Open Game Night.
Hey, welcome back, folks. Even us, we're back. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while.
I actually
It has
forgot how to
been
do my work.
a while. Yes,
Actually,
I
forgot. How do I
know
do
it
this
has
again?
been that long, Denmark, that the sharing feature in Facebook has changed.
I know. I'm like, I clicked something
Where
wrong.
is
I'm
it?
Don't share it
This is
somewhere else.
I know
Just
what
share
you're
it among
saying.
everyone else.
no.
Good evening,
I'm
good
almost
evening,
done.
everyone. Thank you for joining us. We
Yeah,
will
Good
we are
have
like
a
evening.
30.
fun conversation today, and it's something that haunts us, all gamers.
Which one?
Was
Yeah.
Oh
it
wait,
worth it?
was it worth it? No, never is. That's the
Never.
secret.
It was never worth it. I just
Hey,
could afford.
but that's hey, I miss doing this. But yeah, our topic for today, returns of investments.
Ooh,
Return.
sounds complex, huh?
So
Yeah.
guys, madali lang po. Magre-recruit lang po kayo. Pagka pumares po kaliwa sa kanan, boom! Kita na.
Yun na yun.
Pag
Gumawa
pag
po.
nagpantay, pag pantay na yan, pwede na. Pwede ka na mag-start
Yan.
kumita. But I'm almost I really
Tama
got
na,
lost
no?
with that thing in Facebook. So I'm sorry, but I'm almost done.
No worries, no worries. Well, let's start with Theo. I know you have the
Mm.
most exciting recent gaming experience among all of us here
Oh.
because can you brag a little bit? Is it in front of you?
Silent flex.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Steam
Steam.
Deck.
Nice.
Holy guacamole. It's huge,
So
folks.
good.
It's huge. And
Mhm,
I've been playing on this for a couple of weeks now.
mhm.
And literally no game in my library of 420 is out of reach so
Second
far.
flex. Second flex.
Everything.
Yes, folks, I have 420 games and
Ano
I
ba
haven't
games ko
even
sa Steam
finished
ko?
1/5 of it. All right.
Stop buying games.
Behind me.
That's ROI, Tio. That's ROI.
Hello. I can't hear you. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen,
Choppy.
there you go. So you can see that the interface is practically the same as any regular Steam.
Right.
You look at your own.
It's a PSP. It's a
Wow,
Steam
you're old.
PSP.
Tell me how old you are without telling me how old you are.
That's
Look
true.
at that,
That's
folks.
true.
Oh, and it's huge. It's heavy. It really is a PC.
Oh, is it heavy?
There's
So,
desktop
so it's
mode.
not something. So would you advise getting a controller for it? A controller
yeah,
for your controller?
Definitely, because playing this thing for a couple of hours, even before the battery dies, your arms will get tired. I mean, I don't work out, but I can't keep on holding it above my head and then suddenly fall asleep. And then, I mean,
Okay.
let's face it, folks. If your cell phone falls on your face, that hurts like heck. Imagine a Steam Deck
Oh gosh.
falling on your face flat. Oh no, my goodness. You
Lalo
know?
na sa mga Apple users, no, Denmark. Pag humampas ito, may added heft
Okay.
to eh.
Yung akin pa naman, yung case ko pang heavy duty kasi nilalagay ko to sa bike.
Oh, tapos
So
may
pag nahulog
pa,
sa
no,
akin,
may kanto pa, no? May kanto pa eh. Bukol eh.
pag
Bukol eh.
nahulog yan, ouch.
Pero
Yeah,
sulit
you get
siya.
a headache plus
Yeah.
you break the screen.
Well, the screen's pretty tough. The thing is, you'll break your nose.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So what have you been
Yeah.
playing lately?
Me? Everything. No, seriously.
Yeah, right.
I've been playing Spider-Man, some vampire hunting thing, the pixel one. 256,000 reviews, all of them overwhelmingly positive because it's as simple as moving a joystick and evading the people. That's it. You can play with one hand. I'm like, wow, okay, game of the year. All right.
Just
Yeah, just avoid the enemies and you're the bullet hell. That's it. You shoot automatically.
oh, okay.
It's just
Wow.
no brainer. It's fun for some reason. It's fun.
Sure. There's all
And I've also
dopamine.
I've also been playing a new expansion, as you see. Also
Mhm.
Sword March over here.
Nice.
D&D adventure system. Been reading about it a lot, and I'll introduce you to you for the first time as soon as we see each other again. That's for me.
Nice. Let's go. Cool. Me, well, I recently got to play well,
You
something
forgot.
for throw bills. No. It's an odd name.
Oh, trolling for throw bills.
Yeah, there you go.
Throw
Trolling
bill?
for throw bills. And I think it's already out of print.
Hey, Bob.
Oh wow.
That's the one
But
with the cylindrical case, right?
no, but
What?
the map is circular.
What
And
game is
Okay.
that?
Trolling
what
for
was
troll
really
bits.
throw bills, and what was really interesting, it's cute. It's just worker placement. You're sending your ships into different worker placement spots in the galaxy to gather space rocks, space slug, and some traps so that you can trap these mega monsters and then catch them for money. You know, very simple, straightforward stuff. However,
Space Beta would be angry.
yeah, what's really cute with it is you have this location where you get to attach to buy upgrade, and what it does is now you have this sort of text in front of you, and it's all the different locations you can go on the big board. So you attach this new upgrade, you can attach it to one of those sectors, and now whenever you go to that sector, you have that extra benefit. So with that very simple mechanism, your um the place where you get money and sort of these what's the intrigue cards in Lords of Waterdeep, you can make it so that it pays you more money whenever you go there. And then what was the most fun is the way they did the intrigue cards. There would be these random aliens that would show up, and these aliens would be like bounty hunters. And the bounty hunters would you send them to a location, and whenever somebody goes there, they pay tax, and they have to pay it to that bounty hunter. You being the owner of the bounty hunter, you have to go there and then collect whatever he collected.
Mm.
Or there would be like some um, alien sirens, and what they can do is allow you to go to that place, sort of bring back your worker that you just sent there, and then replay it again. So it's like, okay, then I'll send him to the money spot, get a new card. He bounces back, send it back there, get me more money, get me a new card. So it's really fun.
Sirens nga
And,
naman.
yeah. And the art is really cute, pretty fun, and pretty close at the very end. But the whole idea of modifying, it's old. It's not a new game.
You
But
feel that
having
it's dated?
No, it does not feel late. It felt like a modern game because it
Oh,
felt
okay.
like what Chimera Station might be like, where I'm able to modify how my workers work. This one, I'm able to modify how the zones work.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Such a brilliant
Wow.
idea. That so this zone when I go there is perfect for me, and not so much for everybody else. So
So you
Trolling
customize the
uh,
zones you go to in order to take advantage of every space you go to without
yeah, yeah.
making sure everyone else will get nothing from it. Parang ganun.
Yeah, yeah, but you're like customizing your own board. So in essence, you can and ito yung pinaka nagulat ako. They have this um feature where when you send a worker, if somebody can go to that spot and then they're bounced off. And I'm going like, wait, so Charterstone didn't do it first? He copied it from the
Yeah. Correct.
So
No, but I think Charterstone was first before that game.
no. This game is old.
Okay.
2010.
Oh, yeah.
2018.
2000
Yeah, that's old, you know.
Pro Bill.
Anyway, yeah, we should try that. One of our
Oh,
game
okay.
nights. We should bring that.
That's
And
interesting.
asking for troubles there. It was
Asking for
published.
troll bills.
Yes.
Damn.
Asking for troubles was 2015.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay.
it's old.
That's old.
Not that old.
It is
Board game
in
terms,
board
that
game
is old.
years.
There's
Oh, here you
Stone.
go. Hey Benito, hello.
Hey,
ROI or games as
Benito.
a hobby, unless you consider time spent as a
Yay.
cost, it's non-existent. Collectability isn't even a thing because things get printed with better materials, unless it's a rare case. Oh, we're gonna be talking about this stuff later, but that's a good point, right?
Ooh.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Benito.
That's a good point. Very good point,
There's
Benito.
no ROI in our hobby. Oh, we've been doing this wrong all this time.
What?
Hey, recently we had a game night. Ron and
Mhm.
Alvin visited, and we played. I got my wife to play again, and she played. What was the first thing we played? Villagers.
Mm-hmm.
Hello,
Villagers, yes.
Ronnie. Hello.
Hi, Ronnie.
How's Baguio?
How's Baguio?
We played Villagers. It's a tableau building game, but
Mhm.
for me, my gripe about it is that you can be waiting for something that
Yeah.
will never appear.
You-
And it
the game is
really
too
sucks.
fast. The game is
Sounds
too
like real
fast.
life.
Just life is too
So,
short. That game is shorter.
so I was just waiting. I had that last two ends of the tech tree because blacksmith something else, then something. The last two, I was holding it and I was waiting for the middle part. It never
Right.
appeared. And I'm
Yes,
like,
no.
okay, and game ends. I'm looking for it's like fifth from last. I'm like, I hate this game.
Hey, Brett, you're ready.
But it's the
Sir
fun part
Freddy.
for me was the drafting. Hey, Sir Freddy.
Yes.
So I need that one. I need that. Oh, that looks nice. That looks nice. But that's the sad part where you'll be waiting for something that might never ever appear. So just be wary of that one. Then we played what's that? I forgot. It's a Martin Wallace game with the pig meeples. Forgot what it's called. Where you cooperate. When you got
Oh,
there,
yeah,
Ron.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, I
Oh,
forgot.
pig meeples.
Somebody help me.
Is it the Clans of
Uh,
Caledonia?
no,
Something of
it's not
Caledonia?
Caledonia. It's the idea is, you're trying to. It's a semi co-op in a way
Oh.
that the resources are semi co-op because the paths that you make, anybody can use that to transport resources. I forgot what
Oh,
it's called.
I
That's
don't
the
remember. That.
big meeple. It's at the tip of my tongue. I forgot about it. And
The
then
Carcassonne.
no, then we played Marvel Dice Throne. But the highlight of the night for me was Path of Light and Shadow, because I got my revenge on how I finally figured out how to play one aspect of the game. But I want to play it again because there are a lot of. It's a deck builder, so
Yeah.
I found out how to build one way. I'm curious on how to build another way, and I was seeing how Ron. We had different ways on doing it. Ron had this way of like conquering territories quickly, but at a point.
Destroying them to the ground. It's like I'm just moving around the map. Oh, things are crumbling. I will come back to you when you're pretty withered down. Put my flag. There's no more defense. It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I
So-
was
so-
ending the game with very
Low-
little.
You
Low
get
bit-
territories, but you don't have multipliers for points because you're
Yeah,
destroying
no,
them.
Yes.
So
I'm winning them though.
That's like one of the Horsemen of
but
Apocalypse, huh?
that was
War.
nice. That was nice. I won because of that purple cards numerai. No.
Yeah, I think he won
Forgot.
because of the amount of numerai and the amount of Samurai is promoted because they
Yeah,
practically all became points.
I had 6. There's only
Oh my
one that I did
goodness.
not promote because every time I draw a card, it's like purple, purple. Oh, purple again.
I
Like,
didn't get a
okay.
single samurai. Didn't get a single samurai.
Hey, hey, people are chiming in. ROI is not just about getting money back. Money is not the
Yeah,
barometer.
not always
Yes,
about
Mm-hmm.
money.
ROI in gaming for me is getting satisfaction for games, whether it be playing or just owning it. Ooh, this is
Da-da-da-da. I
that's
get
the physical
no.
aspect. Okay, a good memory of a story.
Yeah,
A group tells from time to time and gets a laugh.
correct.
ROI
Sir
na. Doesn't
Nico.
matter how long I had it or how many times I got it
Yeah.
out. So we're
All right.
starting.
We,
Okay.
we well,
So
our
speaking
audience
of,
have started. Um,
So guys,
eh,
what's ROI for you?
um, well, it, so by how it's defined, you know,
Right.
return on investment and
Yes.
uh, return on investment normally is a measurement of are you just going to break even or proper valuation of return of because that's not called ROI. In essence, that's called break even. So ROI is something that you are actually, for me, gaining more than what you initially invested. And now, like what everybody is saying here, that um, that value of return may not necessarily be the same input currency. So it can be a currency input in the first place. So it's money that you invested, but the output is experience, memories, and other things. But those are
Mhm.
quite valuable and things that you can't really buy without the well. In essence, you were able to buy it because you bought that and then created the experience with it. but you can't like if it was just the money, then you don't. Oh yeah, yeah I have 3,000 pesos. I will just imagine that I have a great pandemic experience. It doesn't work. So
Yeah, because the truth right now is our hobby is not really cheap and it's getting more expensive by the
oh yeah,
day. So
was it ever cheap? It was never cheap.
it was, yeah, but now you
It's a
can feel it.
yeah.
Now you can feel it, right? The
now it hurts a bit more.
I
It
used
In terms
it
of
it,
yeah.
it used to hurt.
now
You
it hurts
know
a
that
lot.
now. Yeah.
I bought my site for 3.6 and now it's
Mm,
at 4.5 to 4.8 and 5,000. That's the price right
right.
now. So it's really gonna
Yeah.
hurt. So
Yeah. So inflation's real in essence. The amount of um, experience and value that you get from site would still
Oh
cap the
yeah.
same amount,
right.
regardless of how it changed in cost in inflation. The output enjoyment is the same. Of course, if it's your favorite game, actually it becomes a forever
Yes.
More.
source of enjoyment, right? So
It's
Right.
a
this is now
greater
the real
than.
ROI because um, you keep on getting your return. So
Right.
do you have games that first game pa lang ROI na?
Ooh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I do.
Okay,
Go.
okay.
You first. You first.
Again for ROIs and for mine, it's eliciting very strong emotional or feelings, may it be positive or negative. Mostly positive, preferably, but having something, let's say, um, the excitement that you've never played it with friends yet, you already bought it, but every day you always imagine one day I'm gonna open this game up with friends. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna play, and the fact that you see it in your shelf every day and makes you smile. That in itself is a ROI. That you actually know you already have an idea on the how it'll project on your excitement of playing, and also how to meet new friends, or maybe even your old friends will want to even play it, and then that gives you
Mm-hmm.
an idea of how much, because again, if we're talking about money, it's finished. You've already paid it. It's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, people already you have to face the facts, and most gamers do realize the moment you let go of that money, and you get the receipt. Now you have to face the fact that you have to use whatever you bought, if at all possible. Okay, so me, one of my games that I love, and actually, but the best what do you call this? One of the best reactions I ever had was the what's that again? The Dino Shift. There you go.
Yes. Yes.
Dino Shift
Yes.
is a tower defense deck building game
Mhm.
that in this game you're not supposed to win. You're not supposed to win. You're not supposed to finish them off. You're supposed to survive. And the fact that people try their very best, like, oh, I can use robots, I use this. And on the third round, the big boss comes out, you're like, I'm not even ready. The fact that you see their faces, and then you realize, oh, we're gonna have a round 2 of this next week. That for you is a good return. It's like, okay, this game will be played again, no matter whatever outcome comes tonight. It
Mhm.
will be played again because everyone realized, there's an element of surprise, a random element, and we're gonna pass this one at one point. So at least for me back
Mhm.
then, that was one of the best games with ROI for me.
Right. I
Mhm.
think generally on board games, this is really the formula that we have to work with. How about you, then, Mark? What game was your unang laro pa lang ROI na?
One that I played that made me buy into board games. Commit into board games was Pandemic.
Right.
That was the first one.
And
Blood
that
Rage.
game, cost-wise to the returns.
Right.
That's an amazing.
And I'm gonna ask you
Amazing.
guys about that later. I had Blood Rage, one of the first ones that I bought
Mhm.
that was way above my budget. Because
Right.
board games before, again, tell me you're old without telling me we're not that old. When you hear a board game that's like 3,800, 4,000, that's
Ooh,
expensive.
premium.
That was how much board
For
game
Ngayon,
big
ngayon,
bucks.
Blood
saving
Rage was
8,000.
before. You're
Big
used to
bucks.
2,000, 2,500, right? You get
Right,
that
right.
tweet, and then it hits you.
Mid-size game. Mid-size.
And of course Scythe, because purely for the experience. When you were playing, like, ooh, this is a good game. And for the whole experience of it, the one Mansions of Madness version 2
Okay.
was one of those games that really was an ROI for me. So it's like,
Yeah.
ooh, I don't believe in board games and app because I feel like they're gonna get outdated. But hey, this game needs it, and the app brings out everything in it. So worth it. How much I paid for this one, and all the stories, of course, with those games. So yeah, first time I
Pinito
played those
say-
games, that was okay na ako, solved na ako. I'm like,
Okay na, pwedeng next month ang malaro nito, hindi ako or a few months, hindi masama
Yeah,
loob ko.
because look, how much does TI go for right now? Around 8K, somewhere there.
Okay.
Brand
And-
new,
and-
yeah. Around.
And people play it once a year, twice,
Yeah.
3 times a
Yeah.
year. And if you ask them, is it worth it? Is there ROI in
Yeah.
that one? And everybody will tell you yes, right?
Heck yeah.
So you see, that's how it's funny how we translate, or how do we measure ROI. And I'm gonna ask you guys about this one. And how would you say, I have 5 categories, and you guys would elaborate more on this one. So when you say, can you measure ROI with money? How do you measure that
There's
with your games?
I think
Yeah, there's
Benito
okay.
mentioned a while ago.
There you go. Yeah.
Unless you consider the time spent as a cost, which is
It is not,
non-existent.
money is non-existent.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, rich guys.
no, he was also pertaining as time as a cost. So the
That's
time
right.
is devoted to the game.
You get back
Collectability
that
is
1
the thing,
hour.
because things can get printed to better materials, better parts, unless it's a rare case IP. So in terms of monetary,
Here, I was gonna point this out. Bob was saying, for enthusiasts,
Like Counter.
feasibility as a monetary it's not feasible as a monetary investment.
Yeah, so
So we're
in
talking about
board
money
games
now,
in
ROI
general,
money,
I think
right?
board games in general, I think it's not that feasible because I think as soon as you buy the game and you pay it over the counter and you have it with you, it has lost a few percentage already. You haven't
Correct.
even left the store. Okay, you just paid, and then you can't sell it anymore at the same price. So
Yeah,
it's immediate.
that is so true.
It
Right.
is immediate that it loses its monetary value. Of course, when you play it, that's very different. So in terms of a currency perspective, there's no direct exchange. It's an immediate currency loss.
Uh-huh.
However, board games is not the only thing. If we're talking about collectible card games, there are avenues of return of investment because of it. They bake the collectability into the game system itself.
Yeah,
That's
the
why,
more the more
you
rare
know,
it is, the higher
exactly
it is in
that's
value.
why you have Magic the Gathering and a lot of these collectible card games that
But it happens in board game. You have 10th anniversary Ticket to Ride that
yeah.
started out
So
as
same,
$100, which is now
correct,
$200 or more. So you also have
sure,
that rareability,
yes,
rarity.
yes, there is. Whenever
Well, the
they
flexibility,
sort of
really.
bake it into the game sort of title itself, meaning that it's a limited run, it's just for this year, and then that's it. So that's why, but in essence, it's only very few games that can do that. Eh, Most of the time, there's a lot of these 10th anniversary, 15th anniversary. It's not just Ticket to Ride.
I
Not
can
only
think
Ticket to
of
Ride has,
uh
I don't know. I'm thinking Kickstarters.
no, I'm
Like
I'm
after a
that one
hundred
too. And I'm
thousand,
also
ten
thinking about
thousand.
rarity, chaos in the old world.
so
Kumansa,
those are
glory to
things that
Rome.
go, yeah, glory to
Out of
Rome.
print
So
type.
things that
Okay,
go out of
okay.
print. So in essence, you get rarity, but the situation to arrive to a sense of rarity in board games is so remote. It had to have, giants had to move, right? Giant companies decided, oh, we don't want to work with each other anymore. And then you suddenly have all of these games that have been orphaned for eternity and they will never be reprinted again. And
Forbidden
then suddenly,
Stars.
Space
Oblivion.
Hulk, Death Angel. So I get those
Oh, the
gain,
angel.
gain in value.
Oh man.
Yeah, I have two copies of Space Hulk, Death Angel just because.
$500 for all the expansions alone, and not even the base
So
game. Good
so
God.
more or less, we cannot measure ROI when it comes to money in board games.
Yeah, because it's a very the it's very if you're looking at it in a pure monetary investment perspective,
Mhm.
it's almost always a loss. You cannot
It's
look
Mhm.
at it.
always a loss. Period.
It's always a loss because
The moment you open the
you
box, you're like, oh,
The moment
you
that
haven't
shrink
opened the
wrap.
oh.
box. You literally paid it. Here you go. Check out. Wala na.
Wala na.
As
Wala na.
soon as you
It's
start
You just
sealed.
went
posting it
down 1,000
Sealed.
on
pesos
the
right there.
secondary market, you have to
Sealed, di ba?
remove
Sealed. Oh, wala pa. Oh,
percentage.
kakalabas ko lang. Pwede kong ibalik
Sealed
nga kay ate eh. But no.
refund.
It's no
All
longer.
right. So let me ask you, how about can you measure ROI with the number of times you've played the game? Because there's this thing going on that they say if you play the game 10 times, then you got your money's worth.
You really cannot
I don't
measure
subscribe to
utility
that.
when it comes to with board games. I mean, you can play it for 20 times and you'd still think that's not enough because you play with different people. There's so many ways of how to play it. Although I would say specifically legacy games would be much less because once you finish it, okay, I have it.
There's
That's
no
it.
choice but to gift it.
No, no choice but to let
Yeah,
other people
yeah,
play and you watch them over.
yeah.
But
There
also, but
are
that
games that are
yeah,
purely consumable.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
those escape the room
Escape
type
games,
games.
yes, escape room
Yeah.
games.
So
Deckscape. Oh, yeah, all of
so
those.
let's say you paid for a game which is 2,500. You don't have to play you don't have to play 10 times for 250 pesos per game just so you can say na yeah, I got the 25 worth of by sheer number of games played.
I personally would say as long as I play it once, as long as I can play it, period. At
Yeah,
least I have an
yeah.
idea how
Wag
it
lang
plays, and I'll
ano,
be
no,
like, yeah, okay
wag
na
lang
to.
yung
I'm
open.
good.
Open lang yung status, di ba? Masakit yun eh. At least nga, pwede
Diba?
pa yung sealed eh. Kasi at least talaga para meron pang konting ano eh, na never got around to open it. But yung binuksan, sabihin niya, the intention of playing it, tapos never got to play, yun talaga, talo. That was a loss right there.
All right. Cool.
But
How
I,
about
I, I want to
Yeah.
add to that.
okay. Okay.
Because I also think that games, especially tabletop games, board games, they do have some level of finite amount of play. So I really think I have played all that I could of Avalon for the rest of my
Of
life.
course.
I
Oh, but you've never played with
no,
with no
no. If
with
I have
inmates.
done 50 or 100 games of that, I don't know. I might be exaggerating, or I might be actually less than the actual amount. Maybe it might be even more. But you when I had days, nights, it's just abalan, 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 abalan. and and then
Hype.
suddenly you just no.
No more
I'm
Avalon.
really good
For
game,
me,
but
in
no
in
more.
digital version, I've been playing for 2 years during the pandemic. Jackbox for the office, and it's the only viable online game that everyone can play.
Mhm.
Oh boy, and I'm the only one who can host it. I've been playing it of every single month, at least 2 to 3 times a month. I practically memorized
All
the
of the
algorithm and all
answers.
of the answers and how everything will go. But at the end of the game day, a game night, it's still funny because people play it differently every time. So
Right.
sure,
yeah,
I can
sure, why
still
not?
host a game of Avalon. No worries. I can still run it,
Yeah.
but
So
me participating, it's okay. You guys go
yeah,
ahead. I'm good.
same goes for Love Letter. How many times have we played that different versions? Hey Sim.
Love letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, this is one of the ways on how I measure ROI. If I'm gonna
Mhm.
buy a game with the number of games that will be potentially played. So before I buy a game, and I'm gonna ask myself, how many times will my family or immediate group play this game? If it's less than, if it's less than,
Somehow, I mean, I wasn't surprised that you might say, "If will my wife like it?"
no,
No,
I
because
was
no,
because
expecting
there
that.
are some games in our collection that are just for your core group. Some are
yeah,
for
of course,
family.
right.
So
But if I'm usually gonna buy, and that's the easiest license, our family can play it. That's the easiest excuse why you're gonna buy a new game.
mhm.
And if I cannot actually justify or validate to myself that this is gonna get played at least 10 times, 5 times the least, then I'm not gonna buy it. Even
Mhm.
if I like it, even if I think that eventually they'll come to like it, knowing how my group works, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather buy something even if I like it, but I know that my family would enjoy it more and have more
Mhm.
uh tabletop games play. So I'd
Okay.
rather have that. So to me, that's another factor for me to consider with ROI. I'm gonna spend 2.5, 2.8. Will this be played 10 times or less? If it's just gonna be played 3 times, might as well not buy it. Even though
Mhm.
it has all the hype, even though if I like it and all it ticks all of my boxes, I can't
Mhm.
because the ROI won't be there. At least
Interesting.
number of
Depends on how
played
good you
I
games
market
played.
I
it to your
I
family too, as
don't
well. You know.
think I follow that method um most of the time. Sometimes I do. But it's more of there are games that I would avoid because it would almost never get played. I'm the only person that likes it, or it's like me and another person. It's like, okay, that is so rare, and the price point. It, it's somewhat
See,
your formula,
there
but in
you go,
reverse,
right?
I,
right?
I personally get away from games that says minimum of 3 players. Okay, next. Next three. If I see 3 to 5 players, no. If I see 1 or 2 minimum, hey, that yeah,
Uh,
pwede. I can
Yeah,
I
do
yeah,
it.
guess I'm gonna go to that to the next category. How do you measure ROI with the experience on how you play the game? Will it be worth it? Will it be as soon as you
yeah.
play it?
Well, so after you, so I think experiencing games, and this might be a controversial idea, starts
Oh no.
even before you get to play it.
It starts even before you get to play
Yes.
with the experience. All right, sure. Elaborate, please.
So, so
Oh
because
my God, Wingspan! Did you got it? You have it? Oh my God, it's ultimate.
exactly the the excitement of, yeah, I think it's a big
Oh,
part of the
okay.
hobby.
Go on. Go on. Go
The
on.
excitement of,
Go on. Go
hey,
on. Go
I
on. Go
have
on.
this new game. I think I'm gonna like it. I've been researching. I've been going through YouTube videos. You're investing so much time to make sure that this game is something that you will like. In Actually, in the back of your mind, you already like it. You're just, convincing yourself to just sign that last few papers to close the sale. So I think the hobby starts there. It From the point of seeing the game, being interested, putting it into purchase, waiting for it, getting it delivered, or going through the store, getting the game, and then waiting for it to get big. I think it even starts there because, in essence, a big part of, I'm going to give an odd example. I saw this game from the guy who did Import Export and Tokyo Metro.
Mm.
He made a game that looks like catch stick.
Hi, Danilin.
Hi,
Yeah,
Danilin.
yeah, yeah.
Danny.
I
It
know
looks
what you're
like
saying.
catch stick. Okay? It's a game that, like, who would play this with me? But it's a game that's on a scotch tape that you roll and put it on a paper, cut it, put it on the other side, and then you start drawing it on the maze, and then you play it with each other. It's like,
Catch tape game.
what? Just that being mind blown about the how did you come about with this concept? Maybe that's the designer in me. And
Yes,
just
I agree.
acquiring that game, even if I know who would play this with me, no one. It's just for me, but that's all right. I mean, I enjoyed it already just from that moment. I know it's arriving. So
Bring your
maybe
own
I don't
scotch
know.
tape.
What do you guys think? Do you guys have that same experience?
How
My
unique the game is.
my take on the experience and ROI, I distinctly remember, and I might cause triggers on this one. But I remember when we had game night at Alvin, and everybody was raving about Seven Wonders Architect, and it was the first time I was gonna play it. And after I played the game, after Clint and I played the game with Ron and Alvin, we're like, yun na yun? How much? How much was this? How much was this? 3K? Yeah, that game was not 3K. And we tried justifying it with, yeah, components are really good. Look at the trays. Look at this. Yeah, but the experience of playing this game is not equal to the return of how much you invested it. So there's a difference. That's why I was asking you guys between the number of times that it is gonna be played. Because I know that has been played more than 10 times. Ron's copy has been played more than 10 times.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
Sure, sure.
far different from when you are experiencing the game. Then
Right.
you know that the ROI is like, Ron, you got scammed. But I understand this is for
No,
gateway.
no,
The,
no.
the
But
thing
the
about that,
experience is not worth the ROI.
actually, I never commented about the parts. I never commented about the how it was presented, the production quality, the gameplay. the only thing I said, the very first thing I said when I first played it was, I can teach this to my dad.
Anyone.
I can teach this to anyone. And that's a
Yeah.
nice game to have in your collection if you're gonna introduce something from a point of view of an advocate. Remember?
Yeah.
I mean,
For
diba?
me,
So all of us
my
is like,
ROI
okay,
on exactly
the architect,
my
yeah.
ROI on Seven Wonders Architects is exactly what Keo is saying. It's
Correct.
such a good arsenal. I
The
This
playability,
game I have
replayability,
not missed.
and teachability.
Family, friends, people that are random. See, here's how it works. Just pick
So
and go, and then it just
there's your
continues.
ROI, right? In
I won't
how
play with you guys, but other people, yeah. You know, like
Yeah.
if then like, yes, yeah, let's play architect, and I'll be like, why?
why did
You
you
got
play this
so
game?
better games right behind you. Why are you even trying? Are you okay? Do you need
As
help?
opposed, I have a different example for that one. As opposed to recently, Alvin taught me furnace, and there was
Mhm.
also hype with furnace, and there was also people raving about it, and I'm like, yeah, I see how much this costs, and in contrast, the components for that game was like, meh, they're just
And
cards and
here's the thing. Furnace is like a game I would have difficulty buying because I'm looking at it and going like, okay, I've lost like 60% of the people that I get to play with. Like they
Ooh,
won't play this game, and I'm not
this is
gonna be able to
nice. I
teach
like
them
our
this game.
topic.
Yeah,
I guess that's
just
us
looking at it,
being
like,
I guess that's us being advocates that are factoring into the ROI because
yeah.
we're
Right.
gonna be using it to spread the disease
Tool, it's a tool.
Yes.
We're using a tool to entice people
to
to
entice
buy
people
more
and
into the game,
My
into the
To
hobby.
that
You
question
know,
I
get
said
them high on
earlier,
it.
what was the game that first game gave me an ROI? My answer is Power Grid. As soon as I got
Mhm.
to play first game of Power Grid, it's like, okay, that was long, but wow, that was an experience. And I was
Right,
amazed with the
right.
system. And, I knew that if I have somebody first time playing, they're new, but they're patient enough. After this, I can convert them into game. It's like I had that perspective on Power Grid. But I know what you're saying. That um, the perceived value equated to that bracket of 3,000, so whatever, 3,300, 3,200, whatever
Mhm.
the price is. In that same category, are these more sort of epic driven games that give you a more grandiose feel? I get it. And those feel like as if you have more value gained.
Right. Perceived
That's
value.
yeah. So it's perceived value because of the perceived cost. Oh, it's at this bracket, so you should be at least this epic. Of course,
Yeah.
that's not the reality. The cost is not based on the epicness of a game experience.
Yeah, but
The
yeah,
cost is
tiny epic series broke that mold,
oh, yeah, exactly.
right? Yeah, the 3,000 peso should be epic, and you get a 1-8 game, but it's really epic.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
it breaks that mold.
However, um, you do feel sort of
I, I,
the
I just
cheapness of the experience when you the it's not a bad experience. It's just oh, it's these tiny zombies. Oh, cute. But you know that it's sort of cramming things into that space
right.
more than what
It
it should.
Some of it got
Right.
diluted. I'm laughing because I just realized I was saying Tiny Epic was 1.8, but now they're selling for like 2.5, 2.7. Tell me how old I am. You're not telling me I am old.
Yeah, you're
I
pretty
just
old.
realized I'm like I'm saying prices eons
When you say
ago.
1.8,
That are no
1.8,
longer
what game is
relevant
that?
or valid.
Hey, cool.
1.8?
So
May
at
ganun
least
naman.
in
Mura yun.
experience, it's really different for all of us, and I think the next two questions will fall under this category also. And Ron alluded to this earlier on when he was saying before you buy the game, you already have that ROI. And Bob told it, mentioned it earlier. It's about, do you get ROI with the feels because you own it, or because you are the only one who has a copy of it? Like Kia was saying, the Kickstarter stuff. The feels
Yeah.
of owning it. Is it ROI already for you guys?
Some
Owning
games,
it
yes.
or
Some.
thinking that it's reachable, that it can be
Mm.
bought within the means of our environment. So let's say Philippines, you got a new game coming out after NG
It, it,
Spiel or whatever,
it
and
doesn't
then
matter, as long as you can get it on your shelf, or it's in your shelf and you
yeah,
know that it's there, and you know that you have a copy of it. Is it an ROI already for you?
yeah. I mean, for me, the fact that I know how to get it, and I know the means of how to get it, and I actually have the ability and the amount of money to get it. Doon pa lang, I've been already researching already about the game. I've been reading about the rules, the PDFs already. I've been already seeing videos about it, other
Mm-hmm.
reviews, no matter how bad or good it is. I'm like, okay, I just want to see how what other things. I want to see a video that will make me not buy it anymore. But if you don't find that video, you don't find that experience online even before you have it, then you already have the ROI anticipation, and you're already okay. Good. You're hyping yourself up to the point that once you do have it, it dies out. No, no, it doesn't. No.
Now we
Once
find a new drug.
Like
I have it. Okay,
I,
next, next Kickstarter. But no, but seriously, once you have it, now it turns into okay, just the display. All right, no one's gonna play this yet. I have yet to review it again. I'm gonna watch again more videos about it. I'm gonna hype myself up because I've been waiting for half a year to get this, and now it's
half a
here.
year, that's
And
fast.
that this thing took me a year and 2 months to get.
Wait.
And I'm
I
now
know how you
excited.
feel. It's the same for
Diba?
Court of the Dead for me. No one I know has it
Oh.
here, but I'd still play it. It's just such a hassle to set it up, but if it's out there and someone's set it up already and just waiting for players to play, I'm gonna play it. And for me, I have that feeling of, yeah, owning that one is an ROI for me already, because not everyone else has that experience of owning it the way that Kio was describing it, and sharing it, the joy of sharing it with others will be part of the ROI for me.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mine, my
me, I
precious.
do have some games that are sort of more collectible because there's a story attached to them, and um, as a game itself, they're not really that great. So I do have, especially for whenever I get to travel, I would normally buy a game from that country or wherever destination I went. And I told this before in the stream. I have a game called Japanese Castle. I bought it in Japan. It was published in Russia. It wasn't,
But it's in Japan,
it
published
wasn't
in
from
Russia,
Japan.
played in the Philippines.
Like what? But
Made in
anyway, the
Russia,
idea was
produced
you
in
had to
China.
sort of it's just arranging cards, and it's not even you win by having the enough patience to build this card castle. But my family and I sort of like went around Akihibara looking for that game that I would buy. I would try different stores. They had, the typical mass market stuff, the guest number thingy, and very very normal ones. And then finally found the store that had a decent selection. Like, oh, okay. Then you take a while to get, because you know you're not necessarily looking for a big Kickstarter game when you're traveling, because you're gonna have a horrendous time hauling it, and it's gonna eat up on your space. But yeah, so I have those games that are mainly more of like a memory component. They they give me an anchor point from a memory that I had in the past. Some games though are more on
Right.
the, here's a design idea that's quite unique for its kind, and I want at least one of those. Like, oh, that's a really cool concept.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having a yo-yo from 1980s, right? Like, oh, I'm the only one with a Coca-Cola yo-yo
Pog.
or a Royal True Orange yo-yo, right? It's still alive, right?
The
You
one with
know,
the super. It says super, right? There
super,
were different levels. I remember there were different levels for that yo-yo. I
and
like the
also
Sprite
tricks
one
on the
because it's the one that's only see through.
see through. I like the royal through orange because usually the royal through orange tricks are under the cap. Like, oh, walk the dog.
So, so how old
Just
are you?
run.
How old are you, Kio?
Young enough. Hey Ron,
All
we
right.
lost you. What happened?
Um, it, my browser just said, "Oh snap!"
It said, oh snap.
Oh snap!
Oh
All right,
snap.
and so I guess to round this off, and I think we're all gonna agree on this one. I think most of us, if not all of us, measure ROI through the happiness or memories that we have with the game. Agree,
Yeah,
disagree,
yeah.
comment. What do you guys say?
I
Not
think it's
necessarily
a
happiness. I mean, like I said a while ago, as long as there was a strong emotion attached to it, it brings out so many random events in your life that
mhm.
how could you let go of such a thing, right? I mean,
Right.
if it made someone so angry, the fact that you're playing a game, like say,
Yeah, my wife told me to sell it because it made her so angry.
sell it, but it's the 25th anniversary, sell it. I mean, let's say, what's that game? Sheriff. Yeah,
Of nothing, yeah, right?
people got
Mm,
a lot angry there. It,
mhm.
it came to the point now. Oh,
I made a
sige,
lot of
give.
good friends there.
I
Was even able to discern,
gi-
people that can become good business partners in the future.
diba? Give me money. I'll give you money, but you check his bag.
Like,
What? You can do that? It says so right here. You can. Oh.
I'm friend ko to eh. Huwag mo nang i-check. Ito na. Ako nang magbabayad. Walang tax fee, ano
Ay,
eh.
ikaw yung ninong, di ba? Malapit na birthday
That
ng
is
anak.
why corruption has not stopped.
Thank
Of course not.
you, Sheriff.
Yeah, and that's one of the thing that stops me from selling some of my games
Mm.
because of all those memories and most of the things that I called. Yeah, I could let go, but a lot of games that I have and I've called as much as I could already, and this is like the bear that I'm gonna have and might have for a long time because these are the ones that have all those stories, either on how I acquired it, either how I remember the people around the table having all those joyful moments, how all of those laughters, all of those um, angry, sneering, deceiving looks that they have, all of
Kill
those,
Denmark. Kill Denmark. Yeah, kill Denmark.
all of those after game moments where the game has already stopped, but the conversation about the strategy is still ongoing even after we played it already. We're eating and it's like no, if you did this it would have been better, which turns into philosophical and political and then into
And
sometimes
People start
religious.
theological
opening up the
discussions.
spreadsheet,
But
computing
hey,
the histogram of all of the possible options, running a data model.
and some of the games here are here because it brings the story about how someone who is influential in the Philippine board game scene has come about because he played that game, she played that game, and now they're part of our group. Now they're doing this.
Mm,
All of those stories plus the experience because I got into board gaming, the places I've been, the people I met, the
right.
activities I've been part of. That's what
Yeah.
ROI is. Not yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not the same denomination, right? You
Mhm.
change the format from a monetary component value to an experiential value, and as long as you appreciate the game because it is a good game, it's something that you know you had fun with, it doesn't feel as bad that it's just in the shelf. To be
Yeah.
honest, I mean, I know what they call the shelf of fame or games that I haven't played for a long time. Uh, there are games though that are in our collection that okay, I really shouldn't have this anymore. I mean, I did like it as
Yeah.
much in the first place. It's still here. Just nobody just wants it. So it's really a
Nobody likes
that
it.
was
Nobody
a bad
likes
buy.
that.
So there are those games. Those lost. because not only did you spend time, as what Benito said earlier, you devoted time to learn the game, experience it, and then it flopped. And that kind of sucks, but it's a big part of the hobby. You know,
Yeah.
you can't have all uh, best games, otherwise they all suck.
Yeah. If you have
But
all the hype games, people will say, "Oh, you have that too."
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
That's a good point, because that's also one thing that I try to do with my collection, because there was this one time where we all had Azul, and we all had this, and we all had this. I'm like,
well,
yeah,
guess
whose
what?
copy are we
Nobody in
playing?
our group now has Azul.
Everybody sold it. Yeah,
Everyone sold
but
theirs.
that's good too, right? You having that game, you're the only one in that group who has that game. That's ROI in itself, because you know that whenever you bring this out with your group, with different people, you know it's gonna get a reaction. You know that people are gonna like it, are gonna talk about it, right? And I want to ask you guys about this question before we end, about with Bob's question. Is it a factor for you, the potential resellability? That's part of
Hmm.
ROI.
Yeah. So I was
Yeah, you can
really just
consider
thinking
that.
about. I was thinking about this too. In the sense that you would sometimes see people. Okay, so it's decent. They play the game. Let's say it's a 2.5. You sell it maybe at 2,000 or 1,500. Right. So something quite affordable, and then um, somebody buys it because it's very affordable. Then they get to play. And guess what? For the second person that sold it, they won't sell it at half the price because the retail price is at 2.5. They bought it at 1.5. They can still sell it again for 1.5, provided that
Or
somebody
higher.
buys it, right? Okay, so if somebody bought it, in essence, they got to get the game for free. Albeit, you had to go there, you had to meet the guy, you had to have it delivered, you had,
Yeah,
so
the
to be
hassle
honest,
of,
it's
of
all
reselling it.
cost. It's all cost. There's no real, hey, I got some of my money back. Yeah, sure. But I think owning the game and sort of just playing, borrowing it, and sort of selling it off later on, I don't think, for me, it's not such a big factor because I value owning the game more than it is me having the chance to sell it.
Yeah,
So,
Mhm.
yeah, I agree. I mean, my collection behind me didn't blow up like this because I kept on selling. Because for some reason I don't sell. Okay, but I did sell only after I realized that someone enjoyed playing this game so much, but and I didn't, even though it's
mm,
my game. Oh, you like that game? You want it? He'll look at me
Buy
like,
it.
you selling it? Yeah. Go first. Test it with your family. If they like it too, then we'll talk price. That's the only way I sell mine.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise,
hindi ganun pala tayo bibili kaya ano, no? Lalo rin,
Kikiyo.
Kiyo, ang ganda ng game na to,
Sobrang
grabe.
gusto namin tong game na to.
ay gusto ko tong game na to. Eh.
Gusto ko talaga to.
It's so fun, Kia, so fun. Ganda ng talisman mo, the whole collection, ha? Kahit yung box na hindi mo pinubuksan, ganda niyan. Like, how would you know? I'm gonna... Ngek mo.
me For me, I have this factor if I'm on the fence with the game and I ended up buying it. So
Mhm.
I do consider it. It's one of those games that,
Yeah,
should I buy it or not? And then you pull the trigger, and then yeah, I can resell it if it doesn't work out. So I have that thing in the back of my head.
I,
So
I
that's
follow Ron's
factor.
advice on add to cart. You know, it's there in the cart. I won't buy
Now,
it just yet. Malay
Even
mo,
now
someone
that's how I
might
do
buy
it.
it for everybody, right?
yeah.
So yun
because
yun eh.
But
because
yeah, I
because
think
it's difficult to do that potential resellability, because Ron brought out a good point. As soon as you buy it from the store, the resellability has gone way down, and it will still continue to go
kabayad
lower
mo kay
and
ate,
lower.
pagkahawak mo, wala na. Bawasan na ng price.
Yeah.
your happiness
Depreciated
becomes like
immediately.
iffy. immediately,
You can't
ito,
tell it. Oh, guys, I just
yeah.
bought this. Hindi ko pala siya type. Like nobody will
Yeah,
care.
or open just
Nobody
to
will
check. I'm
care.
like, why would you open it?
Why you open it to check the components? That's
No,
it.
but
Yeah,
Add
well,
sleeves at least.
put some sleeves on it. But again, that's added cost, and
That's right. Yeah, which you can resellability. Again, no one can tell you how much you're supposed to sell it. Okay, if
correct.
someone tells you, it's this price but brand new, eh, then don't buy it. Why even comment about that in the first place? Diba? If you want
right.
to resell it, say
And
it's got
if
so
somebody
much attached to it,
buys
why
it
not?
because they really want it, then
Yeah,
good for them.
then why not? Good for them. You found a
Yeah.
copy. I'm selling it at this price, reasonable. I placed it in sleeves. Uh, I have it signed by Ron. Why not? Diba? Who is Ron the designer? No. So
He
who's Ron?
just he just signed it.
He just signed it. Ron, and not the Ron that you're thinking. Ayun. So at least that's my
Yeah.
point of view for it. And
Mhm.
could I say something about ROI regarding this? I
Sure.
mean, for me, the biggest proof that the games you see behind me is that tayo, we're talking in the show since 2020. Even before that, it brought us together. It brought this network together. It brought
Yeah.
everybody else we've known ever since. It brought us so much good and funny, weird, angry memories.
Sure.
The stories we get. That alone is the ROI
Yes.
that proves to me that everything that I've been doing, even though I collect one or two games a year now, still holds true. And every time I look at behind me, I'm like, yep, one day we'll play this again. Or one day we
Yeah.
will play it. Biglang, oh, Rod's got a new game. Let's play that instead. But I still smile at my collection. I'm like, yes, I have
Yeah.
friends who will play with me if I bring it. Or
Right.
if ever
Right.
man made there's a chance, these guys won't say no unless their wives are calling. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, you're right. I think the biggest value that games have brought to us is this aspect where we do have this network, and most especially are the people that follow and stay with us all throughout the pandemic and even before that. People who read the generation who has read our blogs before it became vlogs, before it became conventions and game nights. And things have changed. The world has changed a lot, and yet still we are here talking about games. Uh, and I think that alone, you're right, sort of justifies a lot of the boxes behind us. Cool. So, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. It's fun to be back. We will try to keep, the renewed rhythm. As you know, everybody's quite busy. Things are sort of getting back into some level of new normality, and because of this, a lot more keep moving and traffic and all of those things again. But I would like to remind everyone to make time to play games and do enjoy the hobby in all its you know different aspects, from collecting, searching, watching videos, watching playthroughs, talking about it with your friends, and having just friendly conversation with family, and playing games. So until next time, thank you everyone for joining us. Ron Villaver from the Variable Play Network. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.